Good morning, everybody. Coming to you from Musashi Koyama Gaijin Sake, episode number 3. Guys, I'm sitting in front of my favorite Starbucks outside, and right now in Tokyo, we are dealing with weather that is pretty beautiful, but it is cold. Let me give you a really quick update. The weather right now says it is, Denver's pretty hot. Sorry. Flipping through my phone here to check out the weather patterns. Tokyo, 4 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold. But I'm feeling really fantastic because just getting everything done is super inspiring. And I woke up this morning inspired and I decided to give you guys a little insight. Like I said, these are probably going to come out when I feel them, and they are coming out a lot because there's always something new and exciting to talk about. Yesterday, I was talking to another foreigner who's here in Japan, and we were talking about, the levels of being part of Japanese society. For example, I'm at kind of a strange level because I've been here, I'm solidified. And he had brought up the point because he doesn't speak Japanese, even though he's been here for 7 years, he doesn't find the need to use it. You can survive in Tokyo. I don't know, maybe Osaka too. But outside of that, you're going to have to learn to speak Japanese because most people don't speak Japanese. I mentioned to him that checking a recent survey, currently, I'm not talking about during the bubble era, like in the 90s, where a lot of people had a lot of money to travel, but currently, according to the Ministry of Immigration, Japanese people right now, 18%, that's 1/8, have a passport. And I've mentioned before, probably most of those people who go, the most traveled destinations for Japanese people are Hawaii, where people speak Japanese for the customers, Korea, and Taiwan. Outside of that, you might see Japanese people around, but there are actually very few traveling these days, even though it looks like it. But out of 100 and what is it? Let me see the population of Japan. It's really nice to be able to just check everything right at the time. So population of Japan. Right now, Japan has 124.5 million people. Okay, 124 million people basically. And the percentage is going down because of the lower birth rate, lacking kids being born. But so what we're talking about is the levels of Japanese you need to become more part of society. So when you apply for the Japanese passport, if you're a foreigner and you want to become a naturalized citizen, some of the requirements are actually like language proficiency, but at the same time, they do have the right to waive it. And I've always joked about what if I were to get my Japanese passport, like if I were to get a second citizenship. And I thought it was really funny because when I talk about it, and when I talk about it to people, we joke. And I joke because I got examples that make me almost a little bit more Japanese than the Japanese. For example, I recently posted where we did the water blessing. My wife told me yesterday what it's called, but I forgot the name. It's where you go to the temple, a Shinto temple, January 1st, like early New Year's, and you wear the fundoshi, which is the Japanese style like underwear. Yeah, the ones that the sumo wear. Yeah, it's really kind of wild. Now the event is called Suigyo. And sui comes from water and gyo from religion. So, like shugyo. And the event starts, and I remember when we went to the event, how interesting it was. So first, just to get into the event, you have to know someone who knows somebody in the temple. What they mean by know somebody in the temple is, my friend Atsushi, his mother started a gyoza, like Japanese style Chinese restaurant in Oimachi, no, Omori. And she started it with her stall right after World War II. So she's been doing this, like she did this before she passed away, and he took over the business. And the restaurant's gone now because they decided to finally sell it and retire when it was really good. And they had been part of what they call the Shotengai. Shotengai is like the merchant society of like the main business area of a Japanese neighborhood. And since his mother was there, they'd always given money to the local Shinto shrine. Like that's how the Shinto shrine, a lot of times, a lot of the religion here makes money is they just got regular supporters. And his family had done that, so they'd always been invited to do what, the suigyo. And he goes, hey, Sukuri, how about doing it? So me and Disco, we decided, okay, let's do it. Just give it a shot. Now I'm going to run you through the event so you know what it's like. And before I start, I will tell you guys, I will never do it again. And I'll tell you why nobody does it. So we got to the event space. Oh man, it was a beautiful temple. It's been there for a long time. I'm not saying like hundreds of years, but it's been there for a while. And it's in Omori. And I might even make a video and show you guys and take you through the temple because it's actually really gorgeous. And you walk into the temple and it's kind of on the side of a mountain, so you got to climb some stairs. And we get to there and the temple is laid out. It's gorgeous. They take us into like the waiting room where we change. And it was me, Disco, and Atsushi. We changed into the fundoshi. And I kind of realized now maybe it was kind of a way to kind of accustomize us to the weather. Because remember, this is like probably around 11:45 on the 31st. And the Shinto event starts like January 1st, like 0. At 0 o'clock, that's when we're supposed to start doing this. So we're in there and it's already cold, but a little bit warm. They're doing their best to keep us good. Then we walk out and they put us around this giant, not a tub, but like a big thing of water in the ground. And you can see a little bit of ice forming on top of that. That really thin ice on top of water. And we sit there and the priest goes through it. What I didn't know at the time is that the Shinto priest that was doing our group, there were two groups, the group after, like group B and group A. We were group A. Group B was being led by the older monk and group B was being led by the junior monk. And the junior monk was the older monk's son. And this was his first time leading, even though he had been part of the religion and understanding everything. This is the first time he's leading a group of people to do the suigyo. And guys, he was really cool. He had a really raspy, like that. Like his voice was literally like that. And I don't even know where you get a voice like that. Maybe he was hoarse from just yelling the whole day or whatever. But it just gave it that really cool ambiance. Like, wow, this is like Japanese religion. And we went and he starts going and you have to hold with your index finger and your pinky, you hold this old style Japanese wooden bucket and the fingers have to be pointed straight when the middle finger and the ring finger hold the bucket with the thumb. Then as you swing the bucket through the water, I can't remember exactly, it was like, san, yo, I can't, like the exact words, but like, san, you brush it towards the left, zen, to the right, and then ryo is where you dump the water on the top of your back. They made it very clear that you're not supposed to dump the water on your head because you can have like a reaction. It can like really, the guy literally said, people have died from dumping the water on their head because of the shock it gives to the brain or whatever. But yeah, it was really insane to do this. And guys, it was cold. Colder than it is now, and I'm fully bundled up. I look over at Disco and Atsushi, and the bonding point, the feeling of doing that, of being invited into doing something that's so rare in Japan now. I don't even know if there's a lot of places that still do it. There's a couple of big events that jump into the water and whatnot, But this one is like, it was just so humbling, affectionate, and loving to be a part of this kind of event. After we were done, I walk over to my wife and she has this giant towel to wrap me up. And the look on her face was worth all the suffering of doing that. I remember when I was doing the water thing, I was actually literally like starting like convulsing a little bit. It was so cold, shaking, that I thought honestly at that moment that my spine was going to snap because I was shaking so hard. And the second group, they did it about 3 times. When I look back at the video, we did it like 13 times or 14 times. We had this the monk, because it was his first time, he really wanted to like go overboard. There's no amount like you're supposed to do, but man, guys, if you knew what cold was in your life, that was like really cold. Another 10 minutes and it would have been frostbite from exposure. We got wrapped up in the towel, and I look over at Disco, and Atsushi comes over and he says, "Hey, you guys can go up and get atsukan." So atsukan is what we call Japanese sake in Japanese. Now, I need to give you guys some background. Outside of Japan, everybody calls Japanese sake, right? And it's drunk warm. That's atsukan. When Japanese sake is drunk warm, it's called atsukan. In summer, hiya, we drink hiyashite, like cold sake. Now, here's something that's just for fun, which I get a lot of questions about. In Japan, we do not call it sake. When foreigners come and they say, "Oh, can I have some sake?" the staff knows. But Japanese people do not call sake. We call it Nihon Shu. Nihon Shu. Shu is the same kanji as sake, and it just means alcohol. So actually, sake in Japan is also beer, wine. They're all sake. It's all alcohol. Nihon is Japanese alcohol, so that's what we call it, Nihon Shu. You have atsukan and hiya. So when you're here, try using that. Say Nihon Shu Kudasai. Kudasai being please, and you're going to get something nice. Guys, once we finished the water splashing on our backs, it's like, even like right now, it's traumatical. We got led up this beautiful path up the side of the hill. There was a huge line for people to go pray at the temple and to make their wish for next year. But because the people who had been in the sugyo, in the water ceremony, got to cut the line. So it was I would say there was 100 people in line waiting, and we just shot right up. And you could see people who had seen us do it, like cheering us on, like, "Hey, Omedetou, wow, that's so great." Like, Omedetou's like, "Congratulations." Me and Disco just shot up to the front, and they had this giant wooden vat, and it was beautiful temple at the top. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a video for you guys, and it's close, so I can just jump on my bike and take some nice video and make some commentary. And we just went up, and we got to go to the front of the line and got some really nice hot Nihonshu, and it just made the day. But reflecting on that, like, I joke, if I were to go to the immigration board and they'd ask me for, like, so one of the questions is, have you acculturated to Japanese society? Because that's one of the big ones, right? I would just look at him and I go, "Here, check out this video. That's me." I did probably just stamp it. "And here's your new passport, official Japanese." Guys, it's fun to do these things because there's so many things that have happened, good and bad, in Japan. And reminiscing and telling you guys about it and sharing with you is just, it's just a privilege. So guys, you have a fantastic day. Arigatou gozaimasu. And mata kondo onegai shimasu.